Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I just try to use my understanding to explain what I see. In the beginning, this beginning just not the Big Bang beginning. That's what I believe. It's just like beyond our documentation, word, or human can be. We can trace back. So I rather call it just the beginning of the Earth culture, or beginning of the Earth concepts. Yeah, and the God. Well, it's a pronoun, I believe. This is just represents some certain super nature, superpower, or you can call it Anunnaki or something. So created, which means it's not by the nature, it's not formed unstructured, it's formed with certain structure. So heavens and the earth. So earth should be our earth, the condition, everything should be unique, and the heavens should be plural. So either in the old time says big because it's plural, but also it's multiple. So heaven has multi-layers or multi-domains, but earth only one. That's my understanding. Genesis 1:1 continue. God represents certain being, super being, whatever we talk about later. But why need the heavens and the earth? It sounds like earth served for certain purpose, but heaven served for another purpose, right? Also, why heavens? It's a plural, which is big. So there's gonna be a lot God or lot something dwelling or in that place. So is that means basically Earth is a testing unit, or a lab, or some kind of jail, or whatever, some kind of common ground for God, for those like being to observe, to testing, to grow, to do whatever. Because when you create, you have a certain purpose of doing things, and you need to follow certain structure. You need to have the goal. So at the beginning, God created heavens and the earth. From my understanding, more like Anunnaki or other Dragos, whatever, those aliens, they made a common agreement, and they stay in the heaven, or they from a different galaxy, different place, and they have the common testing ground called Earth. That's my understanding. Genesis 1:1 part 3. So why God created heavens? Why they need heavens? Because if only for one being, you only need one heaven. Unless there is multiple beings, multiple civilizations, they have the difference. They have different living condition, culture, worship, or some kind of principle different. So they need the heavens, right? And why they need the earth? And what's the purpose to create the earth? What brings them to do so? Those questions. Actually, it's very interesting. Assume all Bible statements are true, as pastor always said, that came from God's breeze, and original Bible all true, something. But we probably just like disregard the New Testament right now, because Moses, the Old Testament most likely it doesn't have much change. Yeah. So I think one writer, Zachary Sitchin, in his book Chronicle of the Earth, talk about. I think it make more sense. I believe they create the Earth, try to conduct something. Genesis 1:2. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So we notice word by word, now, which means after God created heaven and earth, there is an object. There is the object called earth. They call it earth. They formed. However, at the beginning stage, it has no shape, formless, no shape, and empty. What means empty? Empty means there's nothing. There is no contents on it. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. From here, I don't know the interpretation, different versions, but from here, the new NIV, I notice kind of like we have a dark matter, right? Dark matter. So is that possible? Earth actually is separate from the dark matter, dark material. And at the beginning, it has a lot of valley, a lot of deep valley. So dark matter on the top, and the Spirit of God hovering over the water. Why? Why God not go down to the water? Is anything prevent God from doing so? And hovering, it's kind of like cruising, like a carefully thinking, observing. You basically you design something. You need to do a little like a look around. I just sometimes one word pop into my brain. It's called like a water bear worm. Is that like that's the longest worm on the earth, and never die for billions of years. And no matter how you put them in the space, whatever, they not die. So I just wonder, is that small bug, small water bear worm prevents Anunnaki, prevents the alien or God to dwelling on the earth or to conduct the project directly? Genesis 1:2, part 2. The earth is formless and empty. In here we notice God, his capability, because the earth right now is rounded, almost rounded, right? But when you say formless, basically it can be square, it can be round, it's formless. So it's kind of like everything mixed together. But however, God, his capability measured, it's kind of like use a planet level. So they can use a planet energy, planet level change. So that's God, his capability we can see. And empty means there's no content needed, or there is nothing showed as they expected, because when they created the earth from the dark matter, dark material, they expected something. At least the project at the beginning, you need to have a formed with something on it. So that's the reason why it's not formed in certain style, why it is empty, it doesn't happen. So that's cause God, the Spirit of God, the hovering over the water, because there is something out of their expectation, out of their designing. So there is also another thing is why only cruise above the water. There are a lot of water. So why? Something they scared below the water, something caused the damage to them, something they cannot handle it. So that's the thing is, firstly, God came to here and they made heavens and the earth. They're ready to make earth like they wanted. However, the earth, it's not like they wanted, just out of their expectation. So they send the Spirit of God to hovering, to observe, to cruise, to do some investigation. That's what I understand. Yeah, in here, the Spirit of God hovering over the water sounds like only the God's Spirit can able to make physically contact with this environment. So it's kind of like in the Bible, after that, following always show the God's Spirit showed as a flare to show to the Moses, or the Spirit to enter the Holy Mary. Only the Spirit is working. Why? I mean, question is why? Why God can't? Because kind of like unless you are in a different domain, unless you are totally way too big, I don't know. But it just like shows God has own capability. And the God said, let there be light. And there was light. In here, who gave the command? God, not the Spirit of God. So the Spirit of God actually under the God. God gave the command, and the Spirit God may doing something, may working. So it's kind of like the hierarchy, they are lower. Let there be light. It's kind of habit. When you do things, you always give your first shot, the good shot, right? It's not like a play card, you're bluffing. God, I don't believe they love to bluffing. They go straight. Okay, if there is be light. If there be one shot. They try to do things like a straight testing. So since the earth, there is a dark matter, it's darkness. So what's the opposite of a dark? In their minds, in their habit, or they used to, light should be the way to change it. So there was light. And where the light come from, it didn't say. So we, at the beginning, we always think like, oh, light probably represent the time and the space, time and space created. That's the originally I learned from church, but actually right now I don't think so. I think it's a God. They came from different universe. They came here to the earth or to the solar system. They have a certain purpose, and they want to do a test, but it's not as smooth as they thought. So they have to continue finish it. So the first action they brought, and they believe its most powerful or useful method is light. So they say there will be light, and the light come. Yeah, when we start to do some field survive, island survive, or expedition team, just like let's say like a marine, they're doing the expedition. They bring not enough bullets, not enough food. They got the food from wherever they will go. They got the supply, everything from enemy, right? So same thing like a space travel or space refugees. I don't know what those aliens they are, space refugee or space just mission.
But I highly believe their supply, their tools are not that kind of sufficient. So they have to use the material in front of them. So in front of them is a formless earth and full of dark material. So God separates light from the dark material. And this is the mature technology and the matured, that's all the method they have been used all the time because they believe it works. And it make me think about the kind of like a yin yang. Tao, yin yang, it's the dark became bright and the light yin became yang and transformed to the yin. It's dynamically. This is what I thought. Genesis 1:4. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. In here, it's very interesting. There is a word called good. Good is a emotional word. It's not like a God saw the light. It's correct. Or the light works well. Good is a very perspective word. It's you relate to if this one fits my design, and even it's not fit, but I feel, I believe, I consider it's good. I will take it. So it's very interesting. God in here, it shows character, which means God will favor something. He will favor certain method. This is what I try to tell. God has emotion, and God judge the things based on emotion. Because when you have the light, and the light may work on something, he separates the light from the darkness. At this moment, suddenly a word pops up from my mouth. My brain is a virus. Yeah. Imagine, what if the whole earth beginning full of a virus and full of water bear worms, and virus scared of a light, scared of a worm. So what if, that's just a hypothesis, what if the transform the earth, you use a light first, the light, it does kill the virus. It's interesting. So when light is good, which means it benefits God, may God feel the light will continue to benefit them. So God separates the light, made it a solo stage, a unique things from the darkness. So there is no concept of light, or there is no light in this universe yet. But God, they brought light from the darkness. And everything, you start with a separation, from internal separation. That can apply to a lot of conspiracy. So you separate people's mind, separate people's consensus, and you separate their feeling, just separation. So unity is very important. Even it's a darkness, the unity of a darkness, so you can against the God. But obviously, those virus or those the early stage of darkness can against God, so they get separate from the first stage. And those lights became permanently separate with the darkness, and God think it's good. And when God say it's good, every spirit, every aliens involved with this, they agree because they are heavens. Everybody, it's all heavens, all, should I say, a lot of chambers. Everybody just look at this action, and this action they recognize, they acknowledge, they confirmed, and it's good. Okay, so let's continue going.
I still think the dark matter research is kind of funny because, as we discussed in the beginning, light came from the dark. So basically, all the word came from the dark material, right? And you use a subset to define the set itself. It's kind of contradict. So I feel it's gonna be like a useless. I know like there is some kind of lab under the deep ground, like 2,000 meter or 3,000 meter, whatever, in China, in everywhere actually. They try to find the dark material, but we are dark material. We were dark material. How the heck are you expecting through this to trace back? I highly doubt it. So from Genesis 1:4, I just realized it's just meaningless to do the dark material discovery. Yeah.